Hello everyone, this is Karuna, welcome back to my Armenian Duduk channel. Today I want to talk about this very important part of every reed. This is the pitch ring. It is made of vine branch because this thing must be flexible enough to be capable to let the reed vibrate properly, so to achieve this beautiful timbre, this beautiful vibration. And on the other side, it must be not flexible enough to be capable to hold the lips of the reed and to not let them open too much. Unfortunately, sometimes we have issues with this thing, although it's a very, very, very important part of the reed, and without this thing the reed doesn't work properly. Still, many times I see that makers neglect actually preparing this pitch ring properly, and also for this reason the duduk makers and reeds makers quite often have arguments. So sometimes they neglect this thing, and without this thing made properly, even a good reed doesn't work. It makes the reed out of tune, as if the pitch ring is from some other reed and not from that one with which it was supplied, or it is too tight, or it is too loose, or by time it becomes too loose, so it almost goes down through the reed like this, as you can see it here on one of my reeds. That's why I have two pitch rings here. This is a spare one, and this one I use in the beginning, and then the reed becomes absorbs more water, it opens up more, and then this ring is not able to hold the lips, so I need another one for this purpose. That's why I have two of them here. This is also the reason why I always say if you don't play the reed anymore, it's too old, you throw it out. Never throw out the cap and the ring, so have a collection of them, so never throw them out. This is exactly for this purpose, when you need to have some spare pitch ring and also a cap. As I said, and I also had it a number of times, that it feels like the pitch ring is not from this reed at all. It can really happen, although it was most probably not in the intention of the maker to send you a wrong pitch ring, but things happen, and for this purpose you need more of those rings so you can interexchange them. It is nothing bad to take some other pitch ring from another reed. Basically it is not the must, it is not the law that you always use only the one which was supplied with the reed. So I don't mind at all to change their positions. I mean, at least you have a couple of positions of the same pitch ring. You can put it like this, or you can put it in the opposite direction, or you could put it upside down and then upside down left and right. So at least you have 4 different options with the same pitch ring. Try all of them if you feel like now it is not working well, the reed is out of tune, or whatever you feel about it. Try all of these positions. If it doesn't work, try to take another one, maybe it will help you. So if the pitch ring, for example, is too tight, it can also happen. My suggestion for you is to take a sandpaper. I don't have right now sandpaper with me. This is just a normal paper. What you do, you take the pitch ring and you take some thin stick, I don't know, pen, for example, or pencil, or whatever you find. You take a sandpaper and you roll the sandpaper around this stick like that, so that you have something like that with the stick inside. So it is hard, and then you put this thing inside, and then you polish the pitch ring from inside if you want to make it more loose. like this from inside. You do it, or as makers normally do, they just have this surgical knife, for operations. So it is kind of delicate and very sharp at the same time, and they cut off some pieces of the from the inner side of the pitch ring. I never did it myself because I have a number of them, first of all, and I really didn't need it that much. But very often what happens is that the material of the reed is not dense enough. I mean, makers harvest this material from different parts. Now they go even to Iran because Armenia lost many plantations, and some makers go to Iran, some even order reed material from France. That's why also the prices are going up these days a lot. So what happens that the material has a different quality, and even from year to year, even from the very same plantation, the material comes of a different quality. Sometimes the density is better, sometimes the density is less. What is density? Density is not the hardness and softness. From a dense material, a maker can produce a hard reed and a soft reed, and from a soft density material he can produce a hard reed and a soft reed. I mean, hardness and softness is for blowing, and density is the quality of the material itself. It is like how many and how big are the pores inside of a square millimeter of the material. If the pores are big, the material absorbs more water. If it absorbs more water, it opens the lips more. But these days, reed makers just make from whatever they have at the moment. The demand is high, and they don't look that much anymore. What they have, they just make of that material they have at the moment. If the density is low, the reed will be opening more and more while you're playing, especially considering that both the vine branch and the reed plant, if they are produced in Armenia, so maker worked with them and tuned them in Armenia and tried to match them together, and Armenia has a hot, or at least warm and very dry climate. So if then this natural material comes to your whatever, England or Canada or colder and wetter places, it will change, and sometimes dramatically change. It can open the lips more than it was in Armenia, and then you have this problem with the pitch ring, which cannot hold the lips position anymore. Also, another thing, when the reeds maker produces the reed, he doesn't test it a lot, in fact. He just tests it a couple of times for a couple of minutes, but he never plays them for hours like you are doing. So he cannot see the progress of the reed, how it goes, because if he plays it for hours and hours, the reed is not new anymore, and you can see it even from the outlook. That's why they try to keep the outlook of the reed also new. They don't test it a lot. This is your job to play it, and now to see how it goes, how it develops, how it unfolds. Also, another one, it also belongs to your skills of playing. It's how dry is your breath when you are playing, when you're pressing air. It's also important. How dry is your breath? How dry is it inside of your mouth? If you swallow the spit or not, or if your mouth is very wet from inside, also would influence the opening of the reed. And of course, if your climate is colder and wetter, then the reed will open up more, and it will not look like it was in Armenia when the reed maker was making this reed. So don't forget about this thing. Normally, duduk maker and the reeds maker are two different guys, so sometimes they live in different cities even. And if duduk maker orders the reeds for your order, so you ordered one duduk and two reeds, and he orders those reeds from that maker is in another city, and then he waits for a couple of weeks, and then the reeds come, and then something is not quite correct with the reed. What do you think he will do? So he already promised you 1 month of waiting till the order is done, finished, and then the reeds come and something is a little bit wrong with the pitch ring. I mean, he would, of course, he could have an argument with the reeds maker and then ask him to replace this reed and then to wait for another month for him to come to make and to come to his city. I mean, there are so many factors involved these days, and the first factor is the time. So everybody is trying to kind of to be quick, like it's not like in ancient times when people probably did not rush that much, which I'm not sure. So so he prefers to leave this responsibility to the reeds maker. This reeds maker gave me these reeds, so I'm 2 reeds for this order. He tries also for a couple of minutes only. Okay, looks like sounding quite well. So the duduk maker, when the reeds come to him, he also doesn't test them for a long. So you are the first one who has this experience. You will see, wow, this pitch ring kind of changes, so it is not unflexible enough to hold the lips of the reed. And what do we do if the pitch ring is too loose and it almost goes down here, almost can fall through the reed? Sometimes it even does. And with some makers it's more, and with some makers it's less, depending on their material. So, but in my case, for example, this one is in that exact situation. So actually I like, when I start playing this reed, I like in the beginning how it sounds in this very position of the pitch ring. Because you know, the reeds makers prefer to make the pitch ring 2/3 on this distance, like not in the middle of the reed, but 2/3. Now it is less than 2/3, it should be rather here, but in my case it goes down, and if I keep playing and playing, so it cannot close the reed anymore. Basically, generally reeds makers, they try to match the pitch ring in the way that it holds the reed on 2/3 of the distance. So, and sometimes also this vine branch is too flexible. What can we do if it is happening? First of all, have a lot of spare rings. Second, what I can say, you can take a piece of paper. It's a temporary solution, of course, but it can help. So take a piece of paper, any stripe like that, and you fold it a couple of times. You fold it. Better to make this stripe more narrow, not that wide as I'm doing now. And then you put it underneath. So don't put it underneath the pitch ring on the front side, so that doesn't look ugly. But just put it on the back side, here, like that. And then bend it. This is a temporary solution, and then the pitch ring already starts working better. You know, it closes the reed's lips already here in this position of 2/3 of the distance. Another solution which I found on the internet, one of you actually shared this information with me. You can take some kind of flat wire. I don't know the origin of this wire. Maybe you can go to electrical shop and ask. So basically the wire has 2 cores in it, 2 metal threads. In the middle it's plastic, and on both sides it has 2 cores, 2 metal threads. And you will see on the pictures how to make it, how to put it around underneath and around the pitch ring. This is a more proper solution, not like paper. It's much more better. You can keep it. You can keep it like this. Find this wire, go to electrical shop or whatever construction market, whatever is available in your place. And another one is you will see now the video of duduk maker Sivada, how he showed it to myself, what he did with the pitch ring. So one of the pitch rings was also too loose, it was too much down, you can see it on the pictures. And then what he did, he took a little bit of refined oil, and then you put a little bit of this oil everywhere on the reed, from outside as well, from inside probably as well. And then you take a lighter and you start roasting the pitch ring from all sides. Not inside, only outside, Probably I could do it here as well, Actually, I like this time. I like this reed. I don't want to do this because in this position, when the ring is down here, the reed vibrates the best. This is the best position for the reed to vibrate. It just makes the best sound it is able to. So here, if the pitch ring is here, holding the lips here, it doesn't vibrate that beautifully, and it doesn't have that much space in the reed itself. That's why I'm a little bit right now confused if I also have to do this experiment now. Maybe I can try just to be authentic in the experiment. So here is my oil, just very little, a completely transparent sunflower oil. This is my lighter, pitch ring. So I take it, I oil a little bit the pitch ring, like that. And I try to do this. I don't know if it is enough or not. Okay, let's try. It's a little bit better. It's not like it doesn't go more. You see? Before it was right here. So I guess according to this experiment, if you roast it longer, it will also shrink more. And that's it. All I can say right now about these pitch ring issues. That was Karuna. See you in my next videos. Ciao, ciao.